Hello, this is DrawnBySean here on the World Awareness Center YouTube channel, and I'm pleased to announce that this is my first video on the channel. My friend recorded the first actual video on mineralogy. I suggest that you go check that out, and also go check out my YouTube channel, DrawnBySean, in the link down below. Today I will be talking about rapid urbanization and how it led to the modern world as we know it today. Now, this is a very interesting topic, as urbanization did not really occur until the Second Industrial Revolution in the 1880s. So, let's get on with it, shall we? In the mid-1800s, at the beginnings of industrialism, an industrial revolution took place in England. It marked the beginning of a vast event that would change human life forever. Steam power was invented, and as products became easier to manufacture, the human population increased. That drove the rapid urbanization that led to our cities today. Miles of steel and millions of people. And I think, for one, it is very important that steam power was invented, as it really fueled the travel industry, which in turn caused trade to occur. At about in 1870, an international revolution occurred. 40 years after England had began the process of industrialization, the United States followed suit eagerly. Entrepreneurial giants such as Cornelius Vanderbilt, John D. Rockefeller, Andrew Carnegie, and J.P. Morgan drove the country to levels of industrialization that were unheard of in those times, of course. Railroads linked cities together, kerosene lamps lit homes, steel held buildings and bridges together, and eventually Thomas Edison would partner with J.P. Morgan to market the light bulb. Nikola Tesla came after with incredible inventions, who was a competitor of J.P. Morgan and Thomas Edison. In the 1800s to mid-1900s, really to the present actually, immigration occurred. In the top right corner up here, I have a picture of Ellis Island, which was an immigration processing center at the time. So when the United States economy finally began to flourish with industrialism, immigrants flooded to the country in search of economic opportunity, as there were so many jobs. Factory jobs became the main profession, but this pull to the States was actually a false lure. Entrepreneurs and industrial giants maximized efficiency by forcing laborers to work 12-hour shifts, as well as saving money. The industrial giants were saving money by simply letting factories have dangerous conditions, and to improve profit, lowered workers' pay. Labor unions formed, but their endless toil at the time was only met with government violence and conflicts that resulted in strikers losing their lives. These workers often lived in urban areas in horrible conditions, really slums actually, as they were so underpaid. Eventually these problems were addressed, but not before the labor unions suffered greatly. And really another really bad thing that happened is that the government actually met some peaceful strikes with violence. And the government did not really do a lot to help immigrants until in the 20th century. And in 1880s, probably my favorite slide here is electric light. So in the 1880s, of course, a profound discovery was made by Thomas Edison. We all know who Thomas Edison is. Altered all of civilization, that discovery. He had discovered electric light. And a banker, J.P. Morgan, whose name is on several companies today, saw Edison's invention as a blessing, of course, and immediately partnered with him. J.P. Morgan became so rich after this that he single-handedly bailed the United States government out of an economic crisis. Subsequently, electricity was adopted into everyday life and became an essential part of the world's infrastructure, as you know today. The only reason we can light our homes is because Thomas Edison and J.P. Morgan partnered, and really, yeah. Heading on to the next slide, we have present-day problems and also our alternatives to how we get energy. So, we have to get energy from somewhere. Currently, half of electricity generated in the United States comes from coal, which we burn to drive turbines. The steam drives the turbines when we burn it. We then convert the mechanical energy from the said turbines into electricity, which is sent via the North American power transmission grid. So I'll talk more about the energy conversions in a later video. We also use nuclear and oil power as well as coal, but however, oil and coal, which are considered fossil fuels, as they are quite literally by ancient biological matter that we're burning to gain energy from, and when we burn it, release dangerous gases into the atmosphere that can pollute the atmosphere and drive long-term climate changes. Alternatives to coal and oil include, but are not limited to, solar, wind, geothermal, and nuclear power. So there's no shortage of options there, just in case we have trouble with any one category. So, in truth, climate change is a pretty big threat, as it is known today. There is a lot of debate whether it is or not. 97% of the scientific community does agree that it is a threat, but I'll leave that up to you, and for you to do your own research and hopefully find out for yourself. So, thank you. This has been DrawnBySean on the World Awareness Center channel, and I'd just like to say thank you very so much for watching this video, and goodbye! I really appreciate you watching the video.